Hello my friend, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jaden and this is PathTune, where we are charting a course towards the shores of your highest potential. On this channel we will discuss a variety of different topics centering around frequency, vibration, and aligning with your highest and best life path. Because this path that you're walking is unique to you. And there's not just a one way fits all, one size fits all. So if you found yourself on this video, this message is for you. And this message is revolving around slowing down to speed up. This is part 3. If you haven't watched the other parts, check out the other videos. But in this message, I just want to go a little bit deeper into the why behind why slow down to speed up. In part 1, I discussed the concept of slowing down to speed up. And what that means is because we're always, our attention is taken in many different directions because of our priorities, of our obligations, all that never-ending to-do list that keeps on expanding. It can become difficult to understand, am I actually working and making progress towards what I really want? What my true aligned goals are that are in my highest life path, my highest timeline. It's a challenge because we do need to survive. We need to make money in order to pay for the things that allow us to live comfortably. But whenever you can schedule the time and make time, I did a video about time, and it's not the last one I'll do, but I had the thought come in, I don't have time for that. I just don't have time. And then I stopped myself. You ever do that? Where it's like you stop yourself, and there's another part of you that's like, hold on. What is this belief illuminating about my consciousness, about my belief systems? What is this phrase actually saying? And I came to the realization, which I've already realized before, but that's the whole thing. Sometimes we forget. Life is the big game of forgetting and reminding yourself and remembering. So sometimes you have to slow down in order to speed up. And what that means is slowing down, connecting with the present moment. And sorry, I didn't finish my thought about time. I don't have enough time. I don't have the time. You have all the time in the world. Because what time is this everlasting moment. This moment is the same moment it's always been, and it always will be. When you get there, when you get to the goal, when you get to the end of the path, you find out it's not the end, but it's always the same feeling of being here now. When you get there, it will be how it is right now. At least how you experience it. So it's advantageous to slow down sometimes, whenever you can. Creating a daily practice, meditation, one of the purposes of meditating is to center yourself in the present moment and to allow yourself to detach from your thoughts and the chatter and the busyness of the mind. So I'm out here, and it's a lot more quiet when you go into nature. And you can connect with the divine wisdom of nature, which you are. So what does it really mean to slow down in order to speed up, and why? In the previous video, I talked about the connecting with nature, but there's also your internal guidance system. And when you slow down, you're able to hear your own inner wisdom. And your inner wisdom doesn't always communicate through the mind. It doesn't always come in the form of a thought. Your inner wisdom tends to communicate through your body. That's where it's important to slow down in order to notice how you're actually feeling about something. How does this situation feel to me? How does this resonate with my core being? How does this opportunity really feel? I understand, the mind understands that it's a good opportunity, I can make some money, I can meet some people. But what happens if I slow down and connect with myself to hear what my higher self, my inner being, really does? This inner being, does my inner being, which is the real you, does it resonate with this opportunity or this situation? And when you slow down, you can start to hear that a little bit more. And like I said, it does tend to start with a feeling, but then you can connect to the frequency of that feeling and then ask, what is this trying to show me? What does this mean? And then the ideas or the concepts or the information, I should say, that is connected to the frequency of the feeling that you're connecting to will then start to come through. But in order to start to let that flow and let that channel and that inspiration and that information come to you and come to your awareness, it helps to slow down. Because we don't always need to be rushing. This is all there is this now moment. And you have different sources of intelligence that you can pull from. It's not all up in your mind. You are connected to multidimensional layers and levels of intelligence. You can connect to higher dimensional beings, the Most High, God, whatever you want to, whatever your mind wants to label it and conceptualize it, that's whatever works for you is good. Just make sure it's rooted in love and your highest and best good. And make that intention. And speaking of love and the heart, another why it's important to slow down in order to speed up. And what it means to speed up is to actually make progress that is aligned with what is right for you, what is best with you, what's aligned with you. When you slow down, connect with yourself, connect to your higher intelligence, the higher mind, you'll begin to get information that allows you to then make better decisions that are more aligned with what you really desire, what is really right and best for you. And it synergizes in the heart space. Because the heart, and I'll do another video on this, but the heart is a powerhouse of an energy center. It's the most powerful energy center in your body, and it creates the electromagnetic field that is surrounding your body. And the heart, interestingly, is the center chakra. You got your heart, throat, third eye, crown, and then you got your solar plexus, sacral or sacral, however you want to say it, and your root. Then that can go up further into the earth and above you. But the heart is the center of them all. So when you have a closed heart center, you're not able to clearly hear the information that is connected with your inner being. Your intuition may be blocked, and the heart is what really connects you to what you truly love. And that's what we all want more of, right? We want more love. What is the greatest lesson in life? One of the greatest lessons in life is to learn how to love and be loved. And the reason for that is the love is a frequency. Love is one of the highest, if not the highest vibrational frequency. along with authenticity. So when you can unconditionally and authentically love yourself and connect to that, you're able to then flow in the higher information of your higher being, but then also balance the rest of your chakras and open up the connection of them all. If this is blocked, now your higher centers are not communicating with your lower centers and you got dissonance. You have different thoughts going different ways, and that creates anxiety. So it helps in order to work on opening your heart center, and that's a whole thing, right? That's a process, and it's okay. You don't have to have it all figured out. This is a reminder for you, and take whatever is connecting for you and leave what doesn't. But if you are able to open your heart center and activate it, then you can tune in to the feelings and what they mean. And that is what is aligned with your core being. So take some time today, check in with yourself, and align and open your heart. 2 more ideas for you, and then I'll let you go. One idea: being in love is being, one perspective is being in the frequency of love. A lot of the times when we say we're in love, it's actually infatuation, egoic infatuation. But to be, and from what I've learned and the way I understand it now, to be in love is to be in the frequency of love. And so when 2 people are in love, they are both meeting each other at the frequency of unconditional love. That does not mean they're obsessed with each other or infatuated with each other. And that's what we, especially through movies and everything, tend to conceptualize what being in love is. But it's connecting to that frequency of love, which is the frequency of your core being. And in order to do that, you need to be able to, it starts with being able to authentically love yourself. And authentically? Unconditionally, that's the word. Unconditionally love yourself. And that means to accept yourself for who you are, where you are, and it's okay that you don't have it all figured out, and you won't ever have it completely figured out, and to not judge yourself for being where you are on the path, because where you are on the path is where you're meant to be. Everything is in perfect timing. And when you start to notice the dissonance of the discomfort of where you are, or how you're thinking, or how certain things are making you feel, that is a sign, that is information transmitting from your body to your mind that there is something here to examine and something to potentially work on changing. If you ignore it, then you continue to roll out and play the same loop over and over again. But if you take the initiative and have the courage to examine, self-reflect, and then work on it and do the work and do something, seek out, how do I do this? You have the internet, you can you can look it up, and don't just look up one thing. Do a diverse approach and take different lenses, take different perspectives, but start to be curious about how you can work on this thing that you want to work on. But it also comes down to being okay with where you're at, because that's understanding that's really where you're meant to be. You're right where you're meant to be. You are right where you're meant to be. So if you are able to then connect to that frequency of unconditional love for yourself, only then can you meet somebody else at that frequency. And we have heard the phrase, if you want love, you have to know how to love yourself. But it's deeper than that. And I encourage you to explore the depths of what that really means, because it's not just the surface level, you gotta love yourself. It's so much deeper than that. It's acceptance for this character that you are and where they are now. It's noticing the things that are maybe not as preferable and the things that you might want to work on, and saying it's okay that I'm not perfect. And I'm excited to be able to grow and to change myself, because we all have that ability. The other idea what was the other idea? Once you start going down the down the flow path, you got to be accepting that it might not come back. I had one more idea for you. Well, maybe it's not meant to be in this video. Yeah. If I remember it, I'll put it down in the comments, or I'll make another video on it. But that's okay. That's okay. So thanks for being here with me. Thanks for hanging out. And thanks for tuning in to this video. And I will see you on the next video. Take care.